going to conclude this part of the podcast because I'm also going to talk about a second situation that has occurred that I found out. And I'm not going to lie. It boggles my mind why people choose to follow certain content creators when it comes to how to find a woman, how to treat a woman, how to be a 1% man, and they don't live by them standards at all themselves. All right? And this is what I'm going to say about this whole situation. If a 1% man is willing to give up high cash just to land a certain woman that he wants, whether she's a hoe, whether she's an Instagram model, whether she's an escort, if he's willing to give almost $70,000 or even more just to sleep with her for the night, and is willing to pay her even more money to keep her mouth shut, what does that say about the rest of the men in the world? What does that say when the 1% man also makes constant mistakes? What does that say when the 1% man who all these content creators preach about and you should try to be just like them, when they're committing the same mistakes that they're preaching not to commit? What does that say about you following them? What does that say about everyone committing themselves to what they preach? What does that say to the rest of the men out there? Simps will always be around. And it's starting to look like the biggest simps of them all are the 1% men that they talk about, and the 1% men that they try to make you to be. Because am I bullshitting? I am not bullshitting, man. I'm not bullshitting, because I'm gonna introduce you to what was just said by Gilbert Arenas himself.
You actually know NBA players who pay women up to $60,000 a month to just keep things quiet.
That's the NBA. That's the going rate.
That's the going rate
for the most part.
Okay,
I mean
that's $720,000 a year, $250,000 a year.
I mean, when I say pay, listen, everybody think there's this thing called tricking, right? And if that's what you want to call it, then fuck it, call it whatever you want. But for the most part, that's why you don't see NBA players in most of these situations that you see the rest of the world in, right? There's no sexual harassment claims. There's no, rape claims, being given, because, most of the deals we have these are go-get-it girls. And most of these go-get-it girls are...
And you notice, remember the situation that happened with Kobe Bryant? That was the only situation that occurred when it involved an NBA player, and that was a long time ago. And he's right. A lot of NBA players don't get themselves in situations where rape is being called out upon them. Why? Because the same thing he's preaching about is what's going on within the NBA players, which are the 1% men that all these content creators talk about. They pay off these girls in order to keep them shut. They pay off these girls in order to have access to them anytime they want. They're basically paying off these girls more than $100,000 a year. Is basically a way of living for these females. So all these 1% men who supposedly are not simps are the biggest simps of them all. You are basically paying off a girl more than $60,000 a month just to keep her mouth shut and to have access to her. Yet all these content creators are saying be like these 1% men. We already had a situation that occurred with a supposed 1% man that lied to a girl just to sleep with her, and now she's pregnant. We all know who that is. So where are these men supposed to be? Who are these men supposed to be following? Who are these simps supposed to be getting advice from? If the 1% men that they basically deem worthy of following are committing the very acts that they're telling these simps not to commit.
Dealing with 4 or 5 players at the same time. And the only time there's an issue is she's messing with 2 players and one player is, let's say he's a superstar status and she's messing with a regular ass all-star. And he gets offended. Right, like he's not even on the same status as me. You have that little bickering.
Most beef between men are usually over a woman. if you really peel away the layers,
It's a woman.
you'll find a woman at the heart of that onion.
And that is telling facts right there, because men who fight over a woman, I don't care who you are, you're not a freaking man, yo. Ain't no way I'm rolling on the ground for no damn woman. I'm not rolling on the ground for no damn woman. If I have to fight for that woman and she's not standing by me or whatever, or if I even have to get into a situation that she got me into because she's dealing with the other individual in some sort of way that I don't deem freaking trustworthy, you can have her. I'm not rolling on the ground with you, my dude. You can have her. Fuck that. You can have her. But the fact that these 1% men themselves are fighting over ladies who are giving themselves to 5 other men, these are the 1% men. Note that these are the 1% men that these content creators are telling you to be like. It's so funny. It's so freaking funny. And Gilbert Arenas is telling you right now that the 1% men are doing this. This is what they do.
And yeah, I mean, 60,000, listen, if you're making 30, 40 million, that ain't shit. To have someone who's solid, who's not.
I don't care how much money you're making. 60,000 is 60,000. I don't give a shit. You can be doing a lot with 60,000 other than giving it to a woman that you want access to. You can be doing a lot with 60,000. I don't know what he's talking about. That ain't shit. That's a lot of money, especially in the future when you see yourself in some financial crisis, and then you start thinking about, damn, them 60,000 I was giving this chick for 3 years. I could really use that right now. So don't tell me that 60,000 is not a lot of money. 60,000 is a lot of freaking money, and the fact that these 1% men are that desperate enough to sleep with a lady who has access to 5 other men, you are that desperate to go nose freaking deep into a woman that just been with 5 other men last week or last month. Like, these are the 1% men.
Not gonna blab. And, I mean, ultimately, I'll say it like this: even if you don't have 60,000 a month, and you want to keep things quiet between you and a romantic relationship, and I've always known this, just make sure that a woman never leaves angry.
Yeah.
Pacify a situation. If you guys get into an argument and she threatens whatever, humble yourself, apologize, put some money in her pocket, have her walk out feeling like she got what she wanted.
And the 60,000 was between 3 dudes. 20, 20, 20.
Okay, so 160 for one guy.
Yeah, it was 20, 20, 20. If she's messing with 3 dudes, 3 max players,
okay,
and they all paying her $20,000 a month, you're good.
So now it's 3 dudes, because Gilbert is confusing the whole situation now. Now he's saying this, if she's messing with 3 dudes, then all 3 dudes are paying her $20,000 individually, which basically accumulates to 60,000. 3 guys are sleeping with the same girl. How disgusting is that? How disgusting is that? That's nasty. A lot of us men, when we hear a girl's been with 20 guys in the access of 10 years, we find that kind of nasty. Imagine you finding out a girl, yeah, I slept with 5 other guys last week. It's your turn. You can't make this shit up, man. You can't not make this shit up. This is what I'm going to say. Stop listening to the advice of a lot of these content creators, especially these content creators that preach about being a 1% man and the fact that, you know, how to teach you how to sleep with 100 ladies or whatever. Stop listening to these guys, because those same men are doing what they're telling you not to do. They're living. That's the life they're living. What they're telling you not to do is the life they're living. Like I said, look at what happened to one of the 1% men impregnating supposed escort, which I don't believe she's an escort. It hasn't been proven, but let's just say hypothetically, if she is an escort, he got her pregnant nonetheless. A woman that he did not want a life with, he got her pregnant. These same men who are preaching to you constantly not to commit those mistakes, these same men are also sleeping with a woman that's sleeping with 5 other dudes. How nasty is that? I'm going to say this to a lot of men who are following those type of content creators. How about listening to the one substance? I won't even say it's a substance. How about listening to the one echo that continuously sounds off in your mind? Someone who has never lied to you. Someone who never leads you astray. Someone in a lot of freaking situations you tend not to listen to because you go overcautious because of your needs? How about listening to your instincts? That voice that keeps telling you, hey, she's not worthy. Hey, she's the one. Don't cheat on her. She's the one. How about listening to your instincts? This is Black Shy Guy. And as always, thank you for sitting at my table. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification button. And make sure you hit the like. Like I always said, the like button is not freaking expensive. It's actually free. If you hit it, it will be greatly appreciated. I'm out of here. Peace!
Arch criminal who must be put away. Another innocent victim of suicidal maniac.